Hello parents and carers of our Year 9 pupils. Thank you for taking the time to watch this important presentation about our options process this year. The lockdown has meant we have had to rethink our usual process. I hope that this presentation will answer any questions you have. Before I go into our process at St John Fisher, I would just like to spend a moment explaining the context in which we find ourselves. In 2017, the government overhauled the education landscape. New GCSE courses were introduced, which were quite different to the ones teachers and pupils were familiar, and some courses actually disappeared completely. The first big change was the loss of modular courses. All examinations are now at the end of 2 years of study for most of the subjects. There are exceptions, and I will come to those later. So most subjects your child chooses will be examined in the summer of 2023. Secondly, the material covered became harder. In most subjects, A-level topics have been brought down to the GCSE course, and in most subjects there is one level of exam. Only science, maths and languages offer higher and foundation papers. It is true to say that there are no easy options. Another reason for this is the removal of coursework for most subjects, and where there is still a coursework aspect, it contributes less to the final GCSE grade. For example, in PE GCSE, only 40% of the final grade is based on practical performance. 60% comes from written exams at the end of the course. The most noticeable change is the grading, which is now numerical for all GCSE exams. This table shows how the 9-to-1 scale roughly equates to the old A star to G grades. As you can see, grades 4 and 5 roughly equate to the old grade C. Grade 4 is known as a standard pass at GCSE, and grade 5 a strong pass. Most courses at college insist on a minimum grade 4 or 5 in English and in maths. We do offer alternative courses to GCSE, and these include the Cambridge Nationals, which are graded pass, merit and distinction. And for a small number of pupils, we offer entry-level courses, which are graded level 1, 2 or 3. Entry-level is not GCSE equivalent. It is important that you and your child understand what type of course is being chosen. This slide explains the two measures that schools are made to meet by the government. They expect all pupils will study a minimum of 8 GCSEs, with a very small exception for pupils who cannot access GCSE level work. This is the Progress 8 and Attainment 8 measure. This means all pupils have a compulsory set of subjects they have to take alongside 3 others. Another measure is the English Baccalaureate, which is a combination of subjects: English, maths, science, a language and a humanity. Doing those subjects means that the child meets the EBAC criteria. This is a school-based measure, and pupils do not get an award or certificate if they meet this criteria. But for our brightest pupils, this combination is a good academic base for going on to A-levels. So on to the curriculum offer here at St John Fisher. Starting with the subjects that all pupils have to study. These are the compulsory subjects. This totals 6 GCSE passes for most students. For a very small number of pupils, entry-level English and maths may be offered. This next list shows the subjects that pupils must choose at least one subject from. This links to the requirements for the Progress and Attainment 8 measures. All schools have this requirement. Triple science means that rather than just studying the compulsory double science shown in the first column, pupils will have extra lessons so that at the end of the course they get 3 GCSEs in biology, chemistry and physics rather than 2 GCSEs in science. Finally, pupils get to choose 2 from this final list of enhancement subjects. You will see new subjects here which your child will not have experienced before, like creative iMedia, dance, sports studies and sociology. Both creative iMedia and sports studies are Cambridge National courses. These, unlike the other subjects, are mainly coursework based, with a single exam which can be taken more than once. The first sitting of this exam is likely to be in January 2022, which will be in the January of Year 10 for your child. The decisions we are asking your child to make are probably the most important ones that they have ever had to consider. Deciding which 3 subjects to continue into years 10 and 11 and which ones to drop is incredibly difficult for some children, and so we have been giving pupils insights into the courses available at GCSE for the last few weeks. They have had information in Teams lessons over recent weeks. I have delivered presentations about the subjects and the process in the run-up to Parents' Evening during registration on the 25th, 26th and 27th of January. From Monday 1st of February, some departments are inviting pupils to Teams meetings after school to further discuss the courses and allow questions and answers. And alongside this presentation, an options booklet has been published on our website with information that you can access. Those 3 subjects will take up almost 40% of their timetable, and each subject will have 6 one-hour lessons per fortnight. So you can see how important it is that your child makes the right decisions. Occasionally, we do have a situation where not enough pupils choose a particular subject and it is undersubscribed and therefore cannot run. Sadly, this has happened in the past. Similarly, subjects can be oversubscribed. We have maximum number of classes due to our staffing and maximum class sizes which cannot be changed. If this happens, we apply a set of criteria to the applications for the course. We look at the interim data from the autumn term and also consider the engagement in remote learning. This gives an indication of the likelihood of success in that subject. Secondly, we consider the behaviour for learning grades from the recent interim and any barriers identified. The rank of the choices given may be used, or if the choices are submitted late, this will be taken into account. Sometimes the combination of options does not work with the timetabling of the classes. For these reasons, we ask all pupils to choose a 4th reserve subject. It must be a subject they are happy with, as this could be one of the subjects they are allocated. So as parents and carers, you can help your child by having the following discussions. What subjects are they good at? Have they received achievement points from their teachers in that subject? Are they up to date with the work, especially the work set during lockdown? Do they find their work interesting? What subjects do they like? What are their favourites? Which ones are they thinking of continuing at college after Year 11? And what subjects will keep their options open? If they don't know what they want to do beyond school, choose a good variety of subjects. And it is important that their choices are good ones, as once these courses start in September 2021, they cannot change their mind. Your child has heard these messages, and this is probably the most important slide. These are not valid reasons for choosing subjects. Friends. When pupil choices are collated and classes created, 2 pupils with identical choices could end up in totally different classes. Plus, your friends' interests could be very different to yours. Your child must choose subjects personal to them. Additionally, we mix the two bands at the end of Year 9 moving into Year 10 to give a fresh start to the pupils and ensure the pupils are in the right core classes. The new bands are linked to some of the options as well. Teachers, they change. More than one teacher teaches GCSE, and teachers do leave to move on to new jobs or even retire. This is an obvious one. If you don't like the subject, don't choose it. They have to enjoy the subject and like the subject to do well in it. No subject is easy. Even art, which has no written exam, is incredibly time-consuming and it requires a lot of out-of-class work to build a good portfolio. Art students are back in the art department several times a week at the end of school. It's essential that your child understands the demands of each subject they are taking. Make sure they have researched it well. Attend the optional talks after school, speak to their teachers, attend all lessons. The final presentation I gave on Wednesday the 27th of January included information about careers websites that can help in the decision-making process. All the presentations given last week are in the class materials folder within Microsoft Teams. So finally, next steps. An opportunity to discuss your child's initial choices with a member of staff is available on the 11th of February at our virtual options evening. You will receive a letter of invitation in the week beginning the 1st of February. Please action the request in the letter to make an appointment and return your request to us by the 8th of February. The option forms will be sent out after this event and your child's choices must be returned by the 23rd of February. Thank you for listening. If you have any general questions, please email us at options@sjf.wigan.sch.uk and we will get back to you.